Godzilla x Kong was a popcorn fun flake of a movie. What's up, YouTubers of the world? MegaGeekMixer here to give you my non-spoiler review of Godzilla x Kong New Empire. Guys, what a fun flick of a movie. As I said, popcorn fun flick movie. And that's exactly what it was, as I just got back from seeing it. And I can tell you I had a fun time. I was grinning so much from the beginning to the end. Well, near the beginning to the end, I was just like, I cannot help but just enjoy all this. And as a way, you can kind of look at Godzilla versus Kong, the previous film, as a setup for this one. Mind you, does that other film mean you skip it and not worry about it? No, you don't, because that was good too. It had its meaning here, just as this movie has its meaning here. And yes, with the Monsterverse right now, I gotta tell you, when I saw this movie, it really started making me reminisce that the Monsterverse is starting to feel somewhat like the Showa era of Godzilla back in Japan, with his journey, Godzilla's journey out there, his journey of meeting all sorts of monsters, them all showing character and stuff here. That's exactly what we got here. Minus with Godzilla, he didn't really have much to do here, but we'll get into that here in a minute. But with Kong, oh yes, this was definitely a Kong-focused episode, just like the last one. And it is here that you could say he had the most character showing out of everyone here in this entire movie. And he didn't even need to speak. The expressions, his expressions, body language would just tell you everything. And it really sold in parts to the highlights of character for this movie here, as he was wandering places and us being able to expand on Hollow Earth more. And we also get to see his relationship with that mini Kong, which is pretty much the highlighting character of this film. But don't think that that mini Kong was just there for Kong and was just a side character later on in the final battle, because no, that little guy, he plays a major role in the final battle. A supporting role, mind you, but still, it helps out in the end. So when you guys see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. And yeah, the Monsterverse, like I said, it expands more on the Hollow Earth, with us seeing more creatures, other spots that was never seen before, especially considering how we only pretty much saw the Hollow Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong, but here we're finally able to expand on it. Like, it was an introduction to the previous one, but in this one we get to look more into it and more of the history of it, and that's exactly what we will get in this film. And that's good, because considering how we're getting the sequel, it makes you wonder what else might we get going forward. But now, having said that, I gotta talk to you guys about Skar King. Man, it was already shown to us that he's an evil ruler, and boy, when he shows, he doesn't disappoint. Just like Kong, he doesn't need to say anything. His body language, his expressions show you that he is evil. And yeah, it's not just through that, it's also through Shimo. Yes, through Shimo, you will see exactly how evil this Skar King really is. As a matter of fact, when I think about it now, especially when I was watching that movie, I was just being reminded of Scar from The Lion King. And let's face it, Skar King and Scar from The Lion King, there's no way that's a coincidence. That's definitely gotta be, they were referencing Scar from The Lion King when they were making this movie and making Skar King for the character that he is here. And yeah, I will say that as an evil villain of a monster, especially a Titan, well, I will say that, is he worse than King Ghidorah or not worse than King Ghidorah? I guess it really depends on the levels of things you look at. I will say yes on one level, and another level not so much. But either way, they do. Just like Mechagodzilla, King Ghidorah, Skar King plays his role as the antagonist very well, and I can say that yes, a good antagonist for us. Mind you, threat level wise, not really too much, but sometimes it doesn't need to be in the terms of power scaling and fighting abilities, because character alone can make you show the villainy of a character here. And now, having said that, though, I must now also mention here how when we were given spoilers and toys of Shimo and Skar King, you thought we were already spoiled, but I will just tell you, that is false. Yes, it is false. Why do I say that? Because there was something else they were keeping from us that makes its way into the film here at the third act of the film. And I'm telling you guys, it doesn't disappoint. So be ready for that when you see this movie. It was awesome. And now, having said that, I will go into the fact in the final act. Let's just say visual effects and CGI they did with this thing with Godzilla, Kong, and the action, especially the shots that they were making in the final battle, were beautiful. And I just mean beautiful. Godzilla with his transformation of that pink energy, him blowing off that atomic breath of his, fighting in the final battle, awesome stuff. And the same will also go for for Skar King, Shimo, and Kong, and everyone else in there. But I will also mention there's a little scaling problem in there, but it's not enough to not make the movie feel bad and stuff. But still, visual effects were just amazing in there. That's what also helps you get into why it's a popcorn flick too. But then having now said all that, was there some cons in this film that I will say that brought it down? Just a little bit, but not enough. If I'm being clear with you guys, and I've always said this, never give a movie a perfect score, but if I were to give it a score, I will give this movie an 8 out of 10. But when I put it into a more movie critic standpoint, I'll put it as a 7 out of 10. And why do I put it as that? Well, let's just say that's because, for one, it was a Kong-focused film, which, hey, still have no problem with that. It's just that I would like there to have been more focused on Godzilla this time, and I'd like to hope that's what they do going forward. And another negative I'll say is we didn't really get any hints to what's coming in the next film, like a post-credit scene or whatnot. But let's face it, Monsterverse doesn't really do that. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, and you can just only leave it alone right there, especially when they got tie-in comics that can help you explain some things going on outside of the movies. And if they make more TV series like they did with Monarch Legacy of Monsters, that might help too, especially in the fact that the story and the human characters have kind of still been the same thing in the formula of the Monsterverse. It's really all about the monsters you're there to see. The humans and the plot there are just there to help it move forward to where it'll go into the third act. And yeah, with this one, that's exactly what it was here. Story was kind of mid. Characters didn't really do much other than to drive the plot forward. But that's not to still say we still didn't get some good things in the terms of the characters. Like the main characters, their dynamics with interacting with each other, I thought it was pretty good. And when it comes to Gia, the little girl who's a friend with Kong, and then her mother, we got to see more of the mother-daughter relationship between them, and I actually like that. It really shows how powerful their bond is throughout this film, even if it's not like the main focus. The mere fact that we got some of it helps, and that was really good there too. And yeah, and is there anything else more to say here? Not really. I mean, there is more I could say, but then I'd be going into spoiler territory. So yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and leave it all at that, and I'll explain more of it when we go into the spoiler discussion. And I might even make another video more explaining what I hope to see in the next film. Because when I also mentioned how I see this in the Showa era, I do mean that. But at the same time, there's some things they can do to strengthen it to feel more like the Showa era. And that ties into the hidden thing that they kept from us that makes us roll in the third act. And you'll know it when you see it, and you'll probably get what I'm saying. But I'll still make a video of that in the future. But until then, guys, like always, you enjoy my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, MegaGeekMixer signing out. Bye!